Hey guys, what is up?
Notre Dame
Ncaa
will be
31
kicking
here,
off,
bringing
and you
you
can just
a
feel the
online ranked
energy in
game of
the air for this opening
Ncaa
kickoff.
13.
And this is just a booming kick.
Notre Dame, Alabama, doing a couple of unusual things here.
Tackle made at the 21-yard
One
line.
is that I'm using the 3-4 defense. And two, I am, in tribute to the Army-Navy game, playing with the Flexbone offense, the Georgia Tech playbook, and running the Flexbone in an online ranked environment is the equivalent of having a death wish. Alabama is stacked to the hilt, as we all know, ridiculously loaded roster, and I mean no offense to real Alabama fans or Alabama users, but in my experience, people who use Alabama are almost always not very good, and they need the ridiculously stacked ratings and stacked roster in order to overcome their deficiencies, because Alabama's roster will always give you a puncher's chance because they're just so insanely good. And of course everything is all hopped up on aggressive. He's got aggressive D-line, aggressive ball strip, aggressive big hit, aggressive option defense, so it's going to make operating the Flexbone very difficult.
Notre Dame could take the lead with this field goal. And he just drilled it.
But anyhow, apparently the Heisman Trophy was awarded yesterday. And the right guy won the Heisman Trophy. I'm glad Johnny Manziel won it. He deserved to win it.
And he's tackled at the 42-yard line.
I didn't want to see. I don't think. Well, here's the thing. Here's the best way I can describe what I feel about the Ncaa situation. When you play for Notre Dame is like the Dallas Cowboys. You can't help but get overrated to some degree, through no fault of your own. Ncaa is an excellent player. He's a surefire first-round draft pick. He's the heart and soul of that team. Great intangibles player, very productive player, but things were getting out of hand. I mean, I heard people describing him as a top 5 draft pick, which is insane. You know, no middle linebacker or inside linebacker should ever be a top 5 pick unless you're getting the second coming of Ray Lewis. And Ncaa is not Ray Lewis. He's more like Jonathan Vilma. And regardless, a middle linebacker wouldn't go ahead of positions like left tackle, corner, quarterback, and pass rusher. You know, those are the positions that generally go in the top 5 picks of the draft. You know, Jarvis Jones might be the first pick in the draft. Guys like Matt Barkley would go ahead of Ncaa, Mingo and Montgomery, Bjorn Werner. I can't think of any top-tier left tackles off the top of my head, but you know, those are the type of players that would go ahead of a 4-3 middle linebacker or a 3-4 inside backer. It's not to say he's not a first-round draft pick. He's a top 15, top 20 guy, no doubt. But you know, one of the top 5 players in the draft, that's just insanity. I don't want to be one of these guys that overrates the players on his favorite team. If anything, I am harder on guys who I see all the time. I mean, I was hard on Everett Golson all year long. But overall, I feel like the Heisman finalist or the Heisman pool was diluted a little bit. Mainly because Matt Barkley and Landry Jones's teams didn't have the type of years that people expected. You know, Marquise Lee would have been up there if USC was in the BCS Bowl or National Championship picture. There wasn't any real dynamic or dominant running back.
Drops back on first down.
So I feel like Braxton Miller wasn't going to be eligible for the award or get much headway because of the probation situation that Ohio State was under. So I felt like the Heisman pool was very weak, and it kind of lent itself for a freshman winning it in Johnny Mansell and a linebacker being a finalist for the award, when in normal years neither one would have happened. The only thing that bothers me about the coverage of Mansell winning the Heisman Trophy is that he's not a real freshman. He's a redshirt freshman. There's a big difference between the two. It's not like Johnny Mansell was playing high school football 11 months ago. When next season kicks off, he'd have been in college for 3 years already. I'd like to see them make that distinction, but they never mentioned that. I understand why. It makes for a better story just to, call him a freshman. But in my book, I'd put an asterisk next to it because, a redshirt freshman's a guy who's been in college already for a year. This is his second year on campus. He knows the system. He knows, how to operate the offense. He's had a year to get, bigger, faster, stronger, all that good stuff.
Takes the ball inside. It's a fumble. Picks up the fumble.
Well, that's my take on the Heisman Trophy. And if you guys don't follow the Army-Navy game that much, that was a heck of a game. I felt so bad for Army's quarterback. Those guys at the service academies, you always hear during that broadcast that with the demands on their time and the ridiculous academic and military obligations that they have while they're in school, that the football part is easy for them. They practice at 6 o'clock in the morning. They have, after that, 10 to 12 hours of class and drill work and all that stuff, and are pretty much go until midnight. Those guys live extraordinarily demanding lives. And, the Army-Navy game's never going to be mistaken for a Saturday afternoon, the SEC. And all I really expect or want out of it is a close, competitive game. And I really wanted Army to end that streak, but a turnover while driving in for the potential winning score went awry.
Yeah, he got some good leg behind it.
So here I am trying to win this game. Will this be a preview of the BCS championship game as I'm up 13-0 against one of these mindless no-huddlers? And I'm able to do some pretty nice things out of the Flexbone. He resorts to the desperation online defense of choice, the 1-5-5, which is really a formation that really shouldn't be in the game, because the game's blocking programming just doesn't really handle it that well. But luckily, the midline option that I run a lot of in this game, there's the fullback rumbling. I have one of my backup tight ends at fullback. I can also pop in Sear Wood or Theo Riddick in that spot through formation subs or substitution packages. But I like to have the fullback be in there for blocking purposes. He rumbles there, nice little play action. Nice little run there, but I get called for holding. But just one of these annoying online opponents who can't handle the Flexbone, so he resorts to the overpowered, glitched out 1-5-5 that the game's blocking logic doesn't handle that well. But truth, justice, and the sim way wins the day. That's basically my take on the Heisman Trophy.
I'm definitely surprised to see a big fat zero
based on the guys who
Alabama seemed to fall asleep on offense today.
qualified to be finalists for the award. The right guy won the award. I thought the order was right. I would have gone Manziel, Teo, and Colin Klein. If Colin Klein's team ran the table, he probably would have won the award. But that Baylor game really hurt him, and rightfully so. That was a inexcusable clunker on their part.
Today's player of the game.
So no complaints out of me. No Notre Dame homerism.
So that wraps
So,
things up for us.
hope you guys enjoyed this game and enjoyed that conversation, and I will talk to you all later.
We'll see you next time.
Peace.